Good morning, Senator Schumer, wherever you are.
Good morning, Senator Chumer, wherever you are.
Thank you for being here, everybody. We are part of a really big day of action today. There are New York residents rallying in New York City. Why don't you cheer after each spot? In Manhattan? Yay! In Albany? Yay! In Buffalo? Yay! In Rochester? Yay! In Syracuse? Yay! In Peekskill? Yay! In Mellville? Yay! And even in Washington, D.C., outside of Senator Schumer's D.C. office, we don't have to cheer for them, though. Just kidding. And thanks to our allies in Massachusetts, there's also a rally going on there. We are all here today because we are very, very deeply concerned about the Spectra AIM pipeline in Westchester County that stretches from northern New Jersey to the Massachusetts coast. This pipeline is being constructed under the Hudson River as we speak. It is being run within 105 feet of critical equipment for the Indian Point nuclear power plant, and it poses an existential threat to 20 million people. We're also here because we're very concerned about the gas infrastructure that is all throughout our state. We're concerned about the Dominion Newmarket project, the Seneca Lake storage, the CPV Valley power plant, the Western Access Pipeline, the Atlantic Bridge Pipeline. These pipeline projects are threatening residents of New York all over the state, and moreover, and more concerning still, is that they are accelerating the climate crisis that we are already experiencing now. So I just want to say that I'm here because I'm a scientist, I'm here because I'm a mom. I don't want to be here. I would rather be home knitting and playing with my dogs on a beautiful Wednesday morning in October. And I feel that the other people here are here for the same reasons. And I just also want to remind everybody that for everybody who can be here, there are hundreds of people that can't be here, but they are very concerned about these issues too. Each person here probably represents over 100 people that wish they could be here on a day like today. So thank you all for being here. I have a few more people who'd like to speak, and this is a great rally. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. All right, Jerry? Jerry? Jerry Wiley, come to the microphone. Oh, and before you leave, make sure everybody has signed the back of the letter. Where is it, Mary? We have, can I see that? This is a letter from the people living down in Westchester, right by the nuclear power plant, and I'd love for everybody to sign this. We're going to give this to Senator Cuomo's aide in their office today. Senator Schumer, yes, that's what I meant. Oh my gosh, Cuomo, he just invades my dreams. And I just want to say that one more thing is that Senator Schumer is the most powerful politician that New York State has, and he's the only one with the power to do anything about this at this point, about the AIM Spectra pipeline. So we are really calling on him to exercise moral courage and use the power that he has. All right, thank you.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning, Jerry.
So yesterday, what I was doing was trying to make my Halloween a scary time for my grandkids. So while I was working up some brains, a few eyeballs, and putting the last touch of blood on my fingers, I got a phone call. Can you say a few words about the Spectra AIM pipeline? And I was going to, I knew the brains and the eyes and the fingers weren't enough, so I was going to tell a scary story. And I thought, well, that's pretty scary. Okay. So, fantasy meets reality. So we came up with, boom! Once once upon a time, an ogre named Spectra decided to scare you, my dear grandchildren, and all of the little children by creating a spectacle. First, he said, I will lay a pipeline next to a nuclear plant. Not just any nuclear plant, but one that already has big problems. Next, I will lay it over a fault zone to make it easier to go boom in the night. This is sure to make my grandkids shake and shiver. But Spectre comes to the rescue saying, don't worry, dear, we'll do it in the day. We'll do the boom in the day. I will do this with the blessing of my clan at FERC during the scariest time in the history of the earth. Halloween, they say? No. The hottest average global temperature on record. My grandchildren will say, but Spectra, what about us? Don't you care about us? Of course not, my pretties. My brains are made of pudding, and my vision is blurred by Jell-O, and my fingers are only dough, lots and lots of dough. The end?
No.
No! I sure hope not. I hope this is the end of the reality show, because our collective brains can grasp the science. We have the vision of New York leading the way, powered by 100% renewables, and we have the capability and the bloody blueprints from Stanford University's Mark Z. Jacobson and others. So now all we need is another organ. What could that organ be?
A heart.
A heart. And muscles, political muscle. So we need you, Senator Schumer, please use your political muscle to end Spectra's and FERC's frightful reign of terror. Thank you.
So this is a very interesting day. I'm here at a somewhat somber occasion, to say the least, where we're trying to put the nail in the coffin of the fossil fuel economy. Later today, I'm going to be at a press conference at the county announcing that a new financing tool is available for commercial building owners to do clean energy improvements.
Yeah.
And I think the simple message to the senator is we're allowing this company to build what will become a stranded asset by the time my elementary age girls are in college, in extremely dangerous circumstances. And at the same time, allowing this industry, whose days are numbered, to have a few more days, thus delaying the inevitable day of transitioning to clean energy. That doesn't sound like a very good idea. And I really encourage the senator to be courageous, as much as that's a bad word in politics, and please stop this pipeline. Thank you.
It's great to see everyone out here today, and I really think, as Lisa said, we represent thousands of people in the southern tier and throughout New York that say no to pipelines. We've already said no to fracking, and that was a great victory. And we won that one, and we need to win this one. We can't continue to have, to prohibit dirty fossil fuels in our state, yet they continue to run pipelines through our state with fossil fuel energy and have no respect for the dangers that are about to or potential to happen in regard to this pipeline. This is really an ill-conceived pipeline, a danger for New Yorkers and for many other people. And we really need to move forward and free ourselves of fossil fuels and move into sustainable energy and stop investing in the build out of petroleum products. And we need to put our investments into sustainable energy like solar, like wind. We need to keep doing that, and we need to call on our Senator Schumer, who does have the power and will be more powerful in the future as he becomes Senate Majority Leader. And we really call on him and his leadership to stop this pipeline and to stop the pipelines running through New York. He's our senator, and we want him to look out for our interests. And we really believe he can be on our side, and he can be the leader that we need him to be. And that's why we're here today, to really ask Senator Schumer to use his muscle and to stop this pipeline, and stop it now for our children's future and for all of our future. Thank you.
That's Mary Clark from Citizen Action, y'all.
And I'm Maura from the Coalition to Protect New York, which represents about more than 30 allied groups around the state, the central part of New York State and the Finger Lakes, all of whom are here today in spirit, in solidarity with our brothers and sisters downstate who are facing this nightmare of an insane pipeline. All of them are insane, but that is probably the most insane, as it is 109 feet from the Indian Point nuclear power plant in the Ramapo seismic fault line. It's just where millions and millions of people pass through every day and live next door to it. I was down there recently to visit some of the people who live right next to it. It's terrifying. We think about how terrified our children are and Jerry's grandchildren. That was just amazing, that story that you told. But those kids are living with that every day, and they are sleepless and terrified. You know, I think of the refugees coming here from Syria, or trying to come here and being barred from coming here. But we're going to have climate refugees and pipeline refugees here in our own state if Senator Schumer, Senator Gillibrand, and all the other senators from the affected states don't step in and do something, because the regulatory system is corrupted. It is captured by the industry. We can't rely on FERC or the EPA or anything, because the entire branch of government has been corrupted and co-opted. But these senators do have the power, and Senator Schumer, as you just pointed out, Mary, will have a lot more power in a few months. And he and these other senators are the last hope for the families, millions of people who are living in the target zone. And because it's not when there will be a disaster, it's not if there will be a disaster, it's when. And it's all of these pipelines can be stopped if we just leave it in the ground. We leave it in the ground. Leave it in the ground.
Hi there. I just wanted to say that there's a sign over there that says "Close Indian Point." In my opinion, this is a lot more than just this new Spectra AIM pipeline expansion, for all of the reasons that you just heard about. But there's something that very few people know about, very few people are talking about, and that is the fact that there are two existing high-pressure natural gas pipelines that run underneath Indian Point. Indian Point was built on top of two natural gas high-pressure pipelines that were built. One was put in the 1950s, the other was put in the 1960s. Now, what does iron do if you just leave it outside? It rusts. So all pipelines want to dissolve when you put them in the ground. So what do you think? Do you think it's a good idea to increase or to be basically running high pressure gas through a 50 or 60-year-old rusty pipeline under what's been called the most dangerous nuclear power plant in the United States? Yeah. So my concern is, I not only want to stop the Spectra AIM, I want to close Indian Point entirely, because we don't need it, and people have done the analysis and found that we absolutely don't need that particular plant to be generating this power, and it's extremely dangerous. Every day this power plant remains in operation, it poses an existential threat to 20 million people that live in the evacuation zone. So let's not only stop all of these fossil fuel pipelines, but let's get off dangerous nuclear power too. Thank you.
Just to reiterate, there isn't even a valid, practical plan to evacuate 20 million people from the New York City region. This should have never even been put in that area in the first place. You're talking about a 50-mile radius. That's without any wind. And adding to this risk just doesn't help matters at all. And to put in fossil fuel infrastructure that is going to be in the ground for possibly 50 to 60 years, where the companies that put it in are going to want to recover their investment and make profit on it. That's the big elephant in the room. Is the government needs to help stop fossil fuel infrastructure, because the companies that invested in discovering all the fossil fuel reserves that are in the ground right now, that cannot be brought out and burned. We cannot do it because it will cook the planet. And we're already been creating refugees in the New Orleans coast area, where they're evacuating communities right now because their towns have shrunk to small little islands, and the islands are being overwashed by storms. This is happening right now in the United States. Miami and South Miami, same thing. Mayors have indicated that they are in trouble at every high tide now. With the sea level rise, the drainage systems run backwards. Sewage comes up out of the ground, floods into the streets. People can't get out of their homes. They're already spending millions of dollars raising the street level, and that leaves the buildings actually below street level. So this is not a myth, it's happening, and we need to do something and react appropriately. We cannot continue with situation normal. This cannot happen. We need to stop it. Thank you.
Thank you.